It's the Mac and Cody Show.
I'm Cody.
And I'm Mackenzie, but you can call me Mac for short.
We're talking about the word weird. That
Was weird. I'm sure you've heard of it. Maybe you say it when you see a weird animal like this. Oh. Or this one. Oh. Huh? How did this get in there? Weird.
definitely weird. Maybe you know someone who has a weird talent like this.
Ugh. Is the human body supposed to bend that way?
I don't think so.
Ugh. Weird, but kind of cool. Still, the kind of weird we're talking about isn't a talent or how someone or something looks.
The kind of weird we're talking about is the way you live your life. It's about following Jesus and not being afraid of looking weird to other people.
That's why we're wearing these armbands, to remind us not to be afraid to look weird, because we follow Jesus.
So we think it's time to step up and be weird, in a God way.
Now, I know I'm gonna step on some toes here. One of the areas we can be weird in is the way we treat our parents, grandparents, our brothers and sisters. If you don't have any brothers and sisters, think about other kids in your family, like your cousins.
I mean, most kids think it's cool to talk back to their parents and pick on their brothers and sisters. I mean, that's normal, right?
We're not trying to be normal, we're trying to be weird. So let's choose to actually help out our brothers and sisters when they're in trouble or need help. Let's actually talk to our parents or grandparents with respect, instead of acting like a total jerk.
I know, weird, right? But there are kids out there doing this. As you know, we had a contest for all of our viewers. We wanted you guys to nominate friends who you think were weird, in a God way. Those friends won our first ever Weirdo Award. Now we got a lot of videos, but we could only choose 4 winners. This week's winner is Luke!
Luke was nominated by his best friend Jackson, who sent in this nomination video. Check it out.
This is Jackson. I'm nominating my best friend Luke. Here's a picture of Luke and his family. See, Luke's kind of weird, in a good way. I mean, Luke's family treats each other differently than most families. The first time I went over to Luke's house, there was a big poster on the side of the refrigerator, and it listed things like, people and relationships matter, things don't. Family comes first. We serve God together. Cool things like that. I didn't think much of it until we started playing video games and Luke's little brother wanted to play with us. I was like, no way, and I thought Luke was going to be the same way. But instead, Luke actually let his little brother play with us, no complaints. I asked what was going on, and Luke said that in their family, you're supposed to treat your brothers and sisters better than your best friend. And if you don't, it's a big deal. At first, I didn't know what to think. I thought it was just weird. And the more I kept going over to Luke's house, the more I kept seeing how Luke's family treated each other, the less weird it became. I mean, I want to be weird like Luke. I want my family to treat each other like Luke's family treats each other. Luke says it starts with me. Maybe he's right. Anyways, that's why I think Luke should win the Weirdo Award.
Thanks, Jackson, for nominating your friend Luke. And Luke, congrats on being the 3rd winner of our Weirdo Award. You'll be getting your award in the mail ASAP.
Wait, no roses? We gave some to our last winner?
Yeah, she was a girl. Something tells me Luke's not going to be necessarily into roses. We'll send him a box of mac and cheese.
Sounds like a plan. Anyway, wanting to hang out with our brothers and sisters, that can seem, well, weird.
Most kids want to spend less time with their family as they get older. Everything becomes all about them and their schedule, all their friends, and their this or that.
But not Luke and his family. They understand there's a balance. Yeah, Luke can have his own friends, but that doesn't mean that he's too cool to spend time with his family.
Why don't you start thinking of ways you can be weird and treat your family like the gift they are, instead of thinking of them like a sweaty gym sock you want to stay away from?
Ooh, come on. Put that down, Bill. Put that down. Come on, that's nasty.
The Mike and Cody Show will be right back. Welcome back to the Mike and Cody Show.
I'm pretty sure Cody bringing his sweaty gym sock in here was a bad idea. But what Cody's saying is true. It's weird to give up some of your free time with your friends, to spend time with your family. It's weird to go out of your way to be kind and help your family when they need you, especially when you're busy doing other things. But it'll make your family stronger and better.
Check out a family in the Bible who went way out of their way to help their brother Moses.
This video was sent in by one of our viewers, Juan. Thanks, Juan.
Bedtime. Alright, put away them toys. I'm gonna read you a bedtime story. Oh man. Alright, Grandpa. You complain every time, but you always enjoy it.
Is this one about ninjas?
Well, no. Now, do you remember the bedtime story I read you yesterday?
Yes. There were 3 little pigs, and one was a rabbi, and the other one was a preacher, and the third one was a used car salesman.
Now, this is a story about family.
Oh man.
Well, just hear me out. Now, this is a story about 2 brothers and a sister.
Oh, Grandpa, can we hear a different story? My brothers and sisters, they drive me nuts. They're always poking at me and stuff, saying, "Look at the kid in the box."
You haven't heard the best part. You see, they had to escape from an evil ruler, even in the face of great danger.
Well, why didn't you tell me this was an adventure story? Okay, go on. What happened next?
Well, their names were Moses and Miriam and Aaron.
Moses, I remember him. He was really cool. He was with the plagues and parting of the Red Sea, and there were frogs that fell out of the sky.
Yes, really? That was Moses. But right there with him were his brother and his sister.
Oh, wow. Well, what did they do?
Well, it all started a long time ago when Moses were just a small baby. But now, you remember that the Hebrews, they were slaves in Egypt. You remember them being slaves in Egypt, don't you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sorta, kinda, no.
Now, one day the Pharaoh, he was like the king of Egypt. He issued a decree.
Grandpa, what's a decree?
Well, it was a big order. It was like a law. And the law said that all the baby Hebrew boys had to be thrown into the river Nile and drowned. Yeah.
This Pharaoh sounds like a really mean man.
Well, he was a very mean person. And sometimes rulers, they do terrible things. But as you can imagine, Moses' mother, she didn't want Moses to drown. She hid the baby Moses in her house. But then eventually, Moses was too big to hide in the house.
Well, that must have been a very small house.
Boy, it was.
Unless Moses was a giant.
Moses was not a giant.
Then it was a small house.
It was a small house. Now, you see, she had another idea.
What was it?
And she put baby Moses into a basket.
Wow.
And she put that basket in the Nile River where he could be hiding. And Miriam, Moses' sister, she watched over the basket and baby Moses all the time until finally the Pharaoh's daughter, the princess herself, she comes and she finds baby Moses floating in the basket, and she decides to adopt baby Moses as her own.
His sister was really looking out for him, huh?
Oh, she was. She was looking out for him. Miriam sprang into action, see, and she goes up to the princess, and she offers her own ma to take care of baby Moses.
Wow, that was really smart of her.
Oh, she was real smart. She was real smart. You can see her there hiding in the reeds. And so baby Moses was taken care of by his own ma. And eventually, he went to live in the palace.
He lived in a palace?
He did.
It must have been really hard to remember your mom and your sister when you're living in a palace with a golden Xbox and your very own refrigerator and as much Coke as you could drink in your whole life.
They didn't have any of them fancy things. The Egyptians, they treated the Hebrew slaves terrible.
Oh no, it looks like he hit him with a stick.
They did. They were very mean to the Hebrew slaves. So Moses, one day, he did something that made the Pharaoh very angry.
Did he tell a bad joke?
Well, it was far worse than that. But Moses was so afraid of the Pharaoh that he ran away. And he ran far across the desert. And he lived raising sheep far away. And he got married and had a family. But God didn't forget about Moses. And one day, God appeared to Moses in a burning bush. See, there was the bush. It was a burning and a blazing.
It's burning, but the bush isn't burned up.
That's because it wasn't a real fire. It was the fire of God, which is, I reckon, a bit different. And he said, Moses, I want you to go and tell the Pharaoh to let my people go. You know what Moses said? He said no.
Moses said no to God?
Now, you see, Moses, he was scared. Moses didn't think he were the right man for the job.
And then what happened?
So you know what God told Moses?
No.
He said, you can take your brother, Aaron, with you.
Oh wow, that would probably really help.
And Aaron can do most of the talking. They did it together, Moses and Aaron, as brothers. And Moses, he performed some of the miracles that God gave him.
Which ones?
Well, Moses had a staff. And to prove to the Pharaoh that God was greater than the Pharaoh, God turned Moses' staff into a snake.
Oh, I don't like snakes, Grandpa. I don't like them.
Now, you know what other things Moses did?
They turned the river to blood.
They did turn the river to blood. And the Egyptians, they couldn't drink it anymore because God had turned it to blood. But their hearts were hard and they didn't want to let the people go. But eventually, the power of God was greater, and they let the Hebrew slaves leave Egypt. But you know what he did?
No.
That Pharaoh, he changed his mind. He chased after him with all his army, Moses and Aaron, and they led the Israelites through the Red Sea. And Pharaoh, he tried to catch them. But God, he protected them peoples. And then, once they got across, God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses once they were safe from the Egyptians, you understand?
Did they ever get into a fight? Because sometimes my brothers and sisters, we get into arguments.
You see, Moses, he was the leader.
Right.
And Miriam and Aaron, you see, they got jealous of Moses this one time.
And then what happened?
God became angry with Miriam and with Aaron. But Aaron, he changed his mind pretty quick. But Miriam, she was stubborn. God punished her for it. And then she wasn't feeling good. She was sick. Moses, he prayed for his sister Miriam. And then you know what God did?
No.
He listened to Moses' prayer and he healed Miriam. They were family, and family sticks together, and they forgive one another. And when they mess up, they help each other start all over again.
My family's not like that, Grandpa.
There is a way that your family can be changed, and it starts with one person. And that one person is gotta be you.
So, you're saying if I pray and ask God for help, that my family can change?
That's right. Now, say your prayers, put away your toys, and go off to bed.
All right. Thanks for the story, Grandpa. It was really good.
You're welcome.
Grandpa, next time, do you think you could tell the story that has G.I. Joes in it?
Well, there's no stories about G.I. Joes in the Bible, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Bye, Grandpa.
Good night. Don't forget to say your prayers now.
Good night, Grandpa.
Yes, good night.
Thank you for the great video, Juan. You know, Miriam and Aaron really helped out their brother.
Yeah, Miriam helped Moses as a baby, and Aaron helped Moses talk to the Pharaoh to let the people of Israel go. Let's get a little bit more info from someone we all know and love, Cody's mom! Cody's mom's here. Yeah. So, Miss Riley, what is the big deal with Moses and Aaron helping out their brother?
Let's start with Miriam. She risked her life looking after Moses when he was in that basket. I mean, the Nile River isn't exactly a safe place to be when you're by yourself. And then there's Aaron. He actually spoke to Pharaoh for Moses because Moses didn't think he could do it. And Moses was the one who ended up being the famous leader. The Bible says in John 13:34, "So now I am giving you a new commandment. Love each other. Just as I have loved you, you should love each other." That's what Miriam and Aaron did. They loved their brother Moses just like God asked them to. And we can too. Because God loves us so much, we can love others the same way.
So basically, they love their brother so much that they helped him through some really hard times. Even though Moses is the one who ended up being the guy in charge. That's not normal.
No, it's not. But you can be like Miriam and Aaron. You can choose to be different and treat your family with love and respect. And when you and your family do, you show the world what God's love is like.
Good point. I say we all give Miriam and Aaron a big weirdo salute for being weird and treating their brother with love and respect. Weirdo! And give it up for Cody's mom.
The Mac and Cody Show will be right back. Welcome back to the Mac and Cody Show.
So we've talked a lot about how to treat our brothers and sisters and other kids in our family with kindness and love.
Now let's talk about the grown-ups. You know, our mom, our dad, our grandparents. Most kids are disrespectful and rude to our parents, but we can be different. Check out this skit.
It's the Cody and Mac Show.
Yay!
Mac, you need to finish cleaning up your room before you watch TV.
I don't want to.
Mac, you need to finish cleaning up your room before you watch TV.
Dad, do I have to? I'm so tired. Why do you always make me want to do things that I don't want to do?
Kids these days. Mac, you need to finish cleaning up your room before you watch TV.
Yes, sir.
All of us have been there, right? Our parents want us to do some chore and we don't want to do it.
But God tells us to respect and honor our parents. It's weird, I know, and we need to start looking for ways to support and serve them. After all, your parents are real people with real feelings.
Normal says that when you become a teenager, that gives you the permission to treat your family like dirt.
Wrong. That's what everybody else is doing. Look, I know it's weird to look after your family and treat them better than everybody else, especially as you get older. Let's make a choice to step it up and treat our family with love and kindness, because what everyone else is doing ain't working.
Remember these armbands? We're wearing these to remind us to live our lives like Jesus wants us to. I promise if you live your life like that, people will think you're weird.
But who cares?
Join us. Be weird. Live like Jesus.
And treat your family with love, kindness, and respect.
Because if we're all weird together,
we'll change the world.
Come back next week for more of the Mac and Cody Show.